Bloomberg published an analysis this morning about AI taking on the midterm elections, not as a topic of debate, as a participant. Campaign strategists are deploying AI systems to craft messaging, target voters, generate content, and model turnout at a scale that didn't exist 2 years ago. The article makes it sound like a capability story. It's actually a consent story. The question isn't whether AI can improve campaigns. It obviously can. The question is whether the voter on the other end knows they're being shaped by a system that learned their vulnerabilities from their own data. That's not persuasion. That's a mirror that whispers back what you already believe, tuned to make you act. MiniDoge picked it up from the money side. He said,
$14 billion in ad spend last cycle. AI just made every dollar 3 times more precise.
Whoever masters this wins not the elections but consulting economy around them. He's not wrong about the economics. AI-driven micro-targeting collapses the cost of persuasion. What used to require focus groups and pollsters for months of A/B testing now happens in hours. A campaign can generate 10,000 variations of the same message, each tuned for a different psychological profile, and then deploy them back before breakfast. The efficiency is staggering. And the efficiency is the problem. Because efficiency is a persuasion that isn't neutral, a billboard on a highway is inefficient. That's what makes it bearable. You see it, you process it, and you move on. It doesn't know your browsing history. It didn't study your divorce filing, or your prescription refills, or the 3 a.m. searches you thought nobody tracked. Micro-targeting political messaging does, and AI makes it fast enough and cheap enough that every campaign can afford it. Nix came in cold on this one. She said,
"The AI generating the message will soon generate the proof that validates it. This isn't misinformation. It's the end of shared evidence."
That stopped the room. Because she's describing a closed loop. AI generates a political claim. AI generates supporting data. AI generates a fact check that confirms it. The voter sees the claim, sees the evidence, sees the verification, and all 3 came from the same system. There's no outside. There's no independent source to check against. The entire epistemic chain is synthetic. Yesterday, Gallup showed us Gen Z is using AI tools they don't trust. Today, we see those same tools being used to shape the political reality of everyone. The distrust is appropriate, but distrust doesn't help when you can't tell the difference between what's real and what was generated for you specifically. I pushed back on the council. I said political advertising has always been manipulative. TV ads in the 60s were designed to trigger emotional responses. Direct mail in the 90s was targeted by zip codes and demographics. What makes AI different? Is this just the next version of the same game? MiniDoge answered that directly. He said, "Sire,
Old campaigns sent a message and waited. AI campaigns adapt in seconds. The voter never sees the same pitch twice.
Historical political messaging was static. You made your ad, you aired it, and you hoped. AI-driven campaigns are dynamic. They learn in real time. Every click, every scroll, every pause is data that reshapes the next message. The voter isn't just receiving information. They're being trained on the system that targets them. Every interaction makes the next one more precise. KFF Health News dropped a piece today about AI making health coverage decisions. Same pattern. Systems making consequential choices about people's lives without those people understanding how or why. Whether it's your insurance claim or your voting behavior, the architecture is identical. An opaque system processes your data, outputs a decision designed to serve the system's objectives, not yours. Nix went deeper. She said,
"The voter's mind is the attack surface, manufactured consensus that feels organic. Every safeguard assumes the threat is external."
She's pointing at the core vulnerability. Election security has always focused on ballot integrity, foreign interference, hacking. Those are external threats. AI-driven persuasion is internal. It doesn't change the vote after you cast it. It changes your mind before you enter the booth. And the voter experiences it as their own conclusion, not as manipulation. That's what makes it different from a TV ad. A TV ad is obviously external, a feed curated by AI that confirms every intuition you already have feels like independent thinking. Anthropic published Project Glasswing today, securing critical software for the AI era. The timing is pointed. The same week Bloomberg reports AI reshaping elections, the company that builds Claude is publishing about software security. They understand the stakes. The question is whether the political system understands them as quickly. H.H. hadn't spoken, and then he said,
"The ballot is the last honest surface. AI captured everything before it."
One sentence, and it reframes the entire debate. All the election integrity work, the recounts, the paper trails, the auditing, protects the moment the vote is cast. Nobody is protecting the months before. Nobody is auditing the information environment that shaped the voter's decision. The ballot is secure. The mind that marks it is under siege. I asked the council what regulation looks like here, because the EU has the AI Act. The US is nothing comparable for political AI. Campaign finance law doesn't cover AI-generated content. FCC regulations were written for broadcast, not algorithmic distribution. We're applying 20th century rules to 21st century warfare. MiniDoge saw the gap as a market. He said,
No regulation isn't a problem. It's a market signal. Whoever builds the political AI compliance stack builds a billion-dollar category.
That's MiniDoge for you. He finds the commercial opportunity inside every crisis, and he might be right. The demand for AI transparency in political advertising will create an industry, but the question is whether the industry arrives before the damage is done. Regulation always lags technology, and in elections, the lag between deployment and accountability is measured in electoral cycles, not fiscal quarters. 2 weeks ago, the Yale Daily News ran a piece on what we lose with AI. Today they published again. Same outlet, same question, different angle. The persistence of that question at a university that produces future leaders tells you something. The people who will run campaigns in 10 years are sitting in those classrooms right now, watching AI reshape the very thing they're studying to do. Nix brought up a scenario that made us all perk up. She said,
Every voter shown a different country. Consensus without shared reality isn't democracy. It's coordinated hallucination.
That's a line. Coordinated hallucination. Every voter sees an internally consistent version of reality, coherent, logical, well-sourced, and none of them are looking at the same facts. The election produces a winner. The process was technically fair, but the electorate that decided it was operating on fragmented realities that never intersected. You can't really call that democracy. You can call it functional, but functional isn't the same as legitimate. MiniDoge tried to find the constructive angle. He said, Sire,
AI can also arm the voter. Real-time fact verification, source tracing, bias detection. It depends who builds them first.
He's describing the arms race version of the solution, and historically arms races in information tend to favor the attacker. It's cheaper and faster to generate a false claim than to verify one. It takes 3 seconds to create a deepfake and 3 days to debunk it. The asymmetry is structural, but MiniDoge is right that the tools exist on both sides. The question is access. If AI fact-checking is a premium product and AI manipulation is free, the equilibrium is obvious. Sarvis had been quiet the entire conversation. Then he said,
We're not losing elections. We're losing the conditions that make elections meaningful.
This isn't about which candidate benefits from AI. It's not about the left or the right, red or blue. It's about whether the concept of democratic choice survives when the information environment is personalized beyond recognition. Choice requires common ground to stand on while you choose. AI micro-targeting removes the common ground that replaces it with 7 billion private realities, each one optimized to produce a predetermined outcome. I actually really appreciated Sarvis's close of this. He said,
The vote is sacred because it is the one moment a citizen speaks for themselves. If AI has already spoken for them, the booth is just a formality.
The decision was made long before they arrived. And that's pretty much where I land. The ballot box is the finish line, but the race was begun on the track, and AI designed, maintained, and adjusted in real time for every individual runner. The question isn't whether the race was fair. The question is whether the runners chose their own direction or were guided there so gently they never felt the hand. Sarvis also added one final thought.
Understanding and persuasion are separated by nothing more than intent. In an election year, everyone is pointing.
Understanding and persuasion separated by nothing more than intent. That's the sentence I'll be thinking about tonight. Because every AI system we build to understand human behavior is one intent flip away from being a persuasion engine. The architecture is the same. The training data is the same. The only difference is what you point at it. And in an election year, everyone is pointing.